The Snake Story. While the teacher was sojourning at Jetavana, he told this story. At Savatthi, it is said, the son of a certain lay disciple died. The father was plunged into lamentation and grief, and did not go out. He was unable to do anything and just stayed in the house. Then the teacher, rising at dawn from attainment of the great pity, was surveying the world with his Buddha eye. Having seen the lay disciple, he took bowl and robe, and stood at the door of his house. The lay disciple quickly went out to meet him, took his bowl, and welcomed him in. The blessed one said to him, "Why, lay disciple, do you appear overcome by grief, as it were?" He replied, "Verily, blessed one, my beloved son has died. Therefore, I am overcome with grief." Then the blessed one, who dispels grief, told him the serpent Jataka birth story. Once upon a time, in the Kasi country at Benares, there was a Brahmin family by the name of Dhammapala, in which the Brahmin, his wife, their son, daughter, daughter-in-law, and maid servant, all of them found delight in meditation on death. Whoever among them went forth from the house would tell the rest of the household and take leave totally unconcerned. Then one day the Brahmin with his son went to a field and plowed. A black snake, while the son set fire to dry grass and sticks. Thereupon a black snake, scared, came out from a hole in the tree and bit the Brahmin's son. The latter died and was reborn as Sakka, king of Devas. Then the Brahmin, having bathed, purified, and anointed himself, and surrounded by his attendants, put the body on the funeral pyre and applied the fire just as though he was burning a heap of wood. He was standing there, free from grief, without self-mortifications, and having his mind fixed upon the idea of impermanence. Now the Brahmin's son, having become Sakka, became our Bodhisattva. Having considered the good deed done in his previous birth, and feeling compassion for his father and kinsfolk, he went to their place disguised as a Brahmin. When he saw that they were not in mourning, he said, "Hey, you are roasting an animal. Give me meat. I'm hungry." The father replied, "It is not an animal, Brahman. It is a human being." The Bodhisattva asked, "Was that one an enemy of yours?" The father replied, "He was no enemy, but one nurtured in our own bosom, our own tender son of excellent qualities." The Bodhisattva asked, "Why do you not mourn for him?" Then the Brahman said, "Just as the serpent casts aside its own skin and attains a body that is its own, so also is it when the human body is deprived of enjoyment and when the deceased has fulfilled his time. He who is being burned does not know that his kinsmen mourn. Therefore I do not bewail him. He has gone to his bourne." Then Sakka addressed the Brahman's wife. "Good woman, what was that dead man to you?" She replied, "For 10 months I bore him in me. I suckled him. I placed his hands and feet. He grew up, my son, sir." He asked, Even if the father as man does not weep, surely a mother's heart is tender. Why do you not weep? Upon hearing him, she said, uncalled he came thence, unbidden he has gone hence. As he came, so he went. Why, here bewail. He who is being burned does not know that his kinsmen mourn. Therefore I do not bewail him. He has gone to his bourne. Then he asked the sister, good woman, what was that one to you? Sir, he was my brother. Good woman, sisters verily have affections for their brothers. Why do you not weep? She explained, if I should weep, I should become thin. What reward would there be for me? There would be more discomforts for our kinsmen, companions, and friends. He who is being burned does not know that his kinsmen mourn. Therefore, I do not bewail him. He has gone to his bourne. Then he asked the widow, what was that one to you? Sir, he was my husband. My lady, wives verily have affections for their husbands. Wherefore do you not weep? She explained, just as infant cries for the moon departing, so that very same thing does he who mourns for departed. He who is being burned does not know that his kinsmen mourn. Therefore I do not bewail him. He has gone to his bourne. Then he asks the maidservant, woman, what was that man to you? Sir, he was my master. If so, he probably beat you, and you will have been housekeeper. Therefore you do not weep, thinking, methinks I'm happily released of this man who is dead. She replied, my lord, do not speak so to me. It is not fit. The gentleman was to me very full of patience, amity, and kindness, acting properly like a grown-up son nourished. Then why do you not weep? She said. Just as in the case of a Brahmin, a broken water pot is not restored, so that same vain effort makes he who bewails the departed. He who is being burned does not know that his kinsmen mourn. Therefore, I do not bewail him. He has gone to his bourne. When Sakka had heard their religious talk, he was pleased and said, you have rightly developed attentions to death. Henceforth, you must not do plowing and other labor. He filled their house with 7 royal treasures and advised them with the words, diligently bestow gifts, observe the moral precepts, and keep the feast day. Thereupon he revealed himself unto them and went to his own abode. And the Brahman and his family bestowed gifts and performed other meritorious deeds, and having lived to a good old age, were reborn in the world of the Devas. Thank you for listening this story. I will record another story next time.